Hello everyone, this is Holiday Spirit, and after many months, a video I promised you all is finally coming out. You probably read it in the title already, but this is the Gemmy Sesame Street collection. Well, the Christmas collection, because there is a birthday Elmo that I have no plans of getting. You know, I collect Halloween and Christmas, not really birthday stuff. So, but yeah, this is, well, the complete collection. I have to put that in quotes because it isn't every single one. The problem is, there's an item that I'm missing, which I simply cannot find. It's not like I don't want to get it or something. I just can't find one. And that item is the Cookie Monster stocking, which if you saw my community post, you would have already known that. But if you haven't seen my community post, which I don't really blame you for because YouTube's algorithm is very bad when it comes to that sort of thing, that is the one item I don't have. And I mean, I plan to get one the second I could find one, but they're impossible to find. So my guess is they're very, very rare because everything else in the Sesame Street collection is very common online. I mean, with the exception of the snow globe, you know, every one of these items is very common to find. Maybe not fully working, but you can at least find them. But this Cookie Monster stocking is it's just impossible. So I didn't want this video to be delayed for many, many more months while I wait to get one. So I decided to do the video now, and then when I get the Cookie Monster stocking, he'll get his own demo, which I think is fair for all of us. You get the video, you know, technically months early, because you don't have to wait for the Cookie Monster stocking, and I get to finally do this video, because I've wanted to do this for a long time, you know. I mentioned it in another post. It was like a poll, and I said that I wanted to do this back when I did the Snowflake Spinner collection. And even the Snowflake Spinner collection was delayed from that original community post. So this has been many, many months in the making. The biggest issue as to why this took so much longer than when I originally had planned it is because I was going to do a collection of the Sesame Street items that I had at the time. Which at the time, it was the Elmo with the microphone, the Little Drummer Boy Elmo, the Sesame Street Sleigh Ride, and the Sesame Street Snow Globe. But I thought about it, and I thought it would just be easier to do one giant video of every single item all together, which, again, would have been complete had it not been for stupid Cookie Monster ruining everything. But, like, it's still everything, so, yeah, so the order I decided, I wanted to give each item their own little segment where I talk about them. So that's why it's only this one on the table for right now. You know, when I'm finished talking about them, I'll swap it to the next thing. But I wanted to do it in an order of the first one I got until the most recent. So the Elmo with the microphone was the first one I ever got. The Elmo stocking is actually pretty recent. But the only reason he's in the background is just because, as you can see, he's like hanging on to something. It would have been way too hard for me to set that up while the camera was rolling, you know. I mean, we could have edited it, but it's fine, you know. So yeah, we're going to start talking about him, and then I'll do the demo of him, and then when I'm done, I'll move on to the next item, and that's how this is going to go for the whole thing. So, what do I have to say about this one? Well, this one here is one that I wanted ever since I first found out about it, because it's a really great item, honestly. I mean, this was 2005 Gemmy, so you wouldn't really expect anything less from them being, you know, it being amazing, but it's still really good despite the amazing time period it came out in. I mean, this is like a very good looking Elmo. It's, you know, got a good speaker. The songs are good. The animation is just perfect for it, honestly. And it's a really solid item. But I will say on this one, this is actually not, I don't think he was ever in a video before. He may have been in the background of one back then. I don't really remember. But this is not the original. Well, everything up to here is. Down here in the base, that's different because this is going to be a little bit of a story, but it is very relevant to this. So, originally, his battery screw stripped very badly, so I had to open the base to get inside to fix it, which is standard, you know. It's not really a big deal. That wouldn't be a reason for me to replace the entire bottom half of the item, but what happened is, when I went to go open him, this item has, I'm not trying to exaggerate, some of the shortest wiring I've ever seen. So just cracking open the base. I didn't like rip it open. I cracked it open to get this, you know, what I needed to do. And a bunch of wires popped off because it also has the worst soldering ever. Like, honestly, it's hard to even call it soldering because it's so thin and it's just pops right off. Like, that's honestly how bad it is in the base of these. So, you know, multiple wires popped off somehow, which is still crazy to me looking back on it. But, you know, it was easy. Just solder them back on. So, my dad and I, we tried to solder them back on. Everything was okay again, except the head was only turning in one direction because two of the contacts on the board were touching. And no matter what we did, they wouldn't separate. So we decided we would get new tools and we would try again at it. So I think probably like a month or so went by, maybe even 2 months. And I finally wanted to try it again because he'd just been on parts and I really wanted him, you know, complete and working again. So I went to go take a look at it myself. And somehow, even though he was sitting in the same spot without any movement, more wires popped off. And I didn't even know where the wires went at this point. That's how many wires were off. So I officially decided I had to just get a new one and do a board swap. Now, the reason I did a board swap is because mechanically, this one is in mint condition. I mean, even the mouth, head, and body are all super, super good on this one. They work very well with no signs of issues. So, you know, I could have repaired the new one I got, but the one I ended up getting kind of didn't really look that great. This one looks really good. I still love the way this one looks. So when I just cut all the wires on the part, I'm just going to call it the parted out Elmo, and then, you know, cut all the wires on this good one, you know, reconnected all the wires, and here he is. I mean, it was pretty easy, you know, it was really easy because I had a ton of extra wiring from both of them. So if I open the base on this one, the wires aren't all going to come flying off immediately because there's actually some wiring on this thing now. Which that's my only complaint with the item. But other than that, it's excellent. It is a great, great item, honestly. They really did a good job on this one. So the only difference board-wise is that this one is a little bit lower pitched than my original, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I personally prefer higher pitch Gemmy items, but I have plenty of other high pitch Elmos. Like this one, the stocking one back here is really high pitch, so I'm not going to complain too much. But, you know, if I ever find another high pitch model, I might consider getting it. You know, I have no reason not to. But this one is perfectly fine for now, and I'm not trying to complain about it. It's not a big deal. It's just, you know, something to note. So this item sings and dances to Jingle Bells and Jingle Bell Rock, which is very interesting because Jingle Bell Rock is not a very common Gemmy song. Despite how common of a Christmas song it is, Gemmy really doesn't use that song very much. So when it is used, it's always a nice surprise. So yeah, I don't think I have much more else to say. If I think of anything, I'll say it after the demo. But yeah, we're going to get started. There we go.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Dancing and dancing in jingle bell square. It's the fun year. Now a fun time, it's just one time to walk down the way. Jingle bell time, it's just one time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Jingle bells, rock! Yay!
All right, so then now it's time for Jingle Bells. So there he is. Just going to turn the head back because the heads on these don't reset in the middle. They always end up on the left or the right side, which isn't a big deal, but, you know, for the actual video, it looks better with him facing the camera rather than looking away from it. So yeah, as you can see, it works really, really good, and I'm super happy with it. this isn't really anything about the item, but it's kind of funny. I was actually just expecting, with my luck, I was expecting the mouth to somehow break on camera, even though, as you see, it works really good. I was just expecting it to happen then. Like, of all the times in the world, that's when I expected it to happen, because if you saw the last video I uploaded, which was the recorder Santa, he did that to me. When I originally went to film it, his speaker literally died mid-activation. I had to open him up, and by the way, he's not even 2 years old yet, Recorder Santa. That came out in 2022, and I had to repair it early 2024, not even Christmas 2024. So, if anyone asks you why you think modern Gemmy is worse than older Gemmy, tell people that. Tell people, that they break within 2 years. Meanwhile, this thing is 18 years old, and it works amazing. I mean, this thing is old enough to vote. Think about that. This thing is old enough to vote, and it works better than new items from a few years ago. But anyway, enough of my distaste for modern Gemmy out of the way. There is one more thing I want to mention about the actual item, which is that it's really cool that it has 2 songs. Because a lot. And I was thinking about this, because I had filmed this once before, and I, messed up, so I had to redo it. But honestly, I can't name a single Gemmy item in the past few years that has had more than 1 song. I honestly can't. So, it is really nice to have an item with 2 recordings. I mean, it's obviously an issue with, not wanting to buy bigger sound chips. But I feel like items would sell better if they had more songs. But, Gemmy does their thing, and I just buy the older Gemmys. It's simple. It's not like I'm opposed to buying the new Gemmy items. There are quirks about the old ones that I miss. And this is the perfect personification of it. See, that's how you do it. If you're going to talk about something, you got to wrap it back around to the original topic. But, the 2 songs, the bases with, the actual physical button instead of those crappy little ones that go inside the hand and the wires always pop off of. I mean, multiple animations, good size, good quality. This is, like I said, at the beginning, this is a really great item, honestly. I'm super happy I own one, especially in this condition, and if you are a fan of Sesame Street, I would recommend getting this one. I mean, I'd recommend all of these, but this one is just really special to me for some reason. I don't know why. It's probably because I've had this one for a while now, so he probably just means the most to me. But yeah, that is all I have to say about this one. We are going to move on to the next item, which I actually don't remember what the next item is. I'm just going to do it any order. I was going to do it when I got them, but I actually don't remember, because I got a few of them around the same time. So I guess for a little variety, I'll do this one. I was going to talk about Little Drummer Boy Elmo, but only because, I just did an Elmo item. I don't want to do 2, only Elmo items. I want to talk about this one because this one's very interesting. Talk about this one after the Elmo, because this one's got Cookie Monster and Oscar. Now, of course, one of these is the elephant in the room. Oscar. Because apart from this, Oscar, I mean, there might be, a different item with Oscar, one of the birthday ones. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning, but there's a birthday Elmo, which I'm not counting for this. This is the complete Sesame Street Christmas collection. Well, again, complete in quotes. Don't want to be false. Don't want to be spreading false information. But, I don't know if there were other Oscars, but for the Christmas collection, this is the only one. And with the next item, you'll see it's another instance of them using the character once and never again. So, of course, this item is very interesting because it has Oscar on it. I mean, Cookie Monster and Elmo, Elmo especially had a ton of Gemmy items, especially for the Christmas ones. But, it's very interesting that they used Oscar on this. When I think of Christmas, I don't exactly think of Oscar, the most grouchy character probably in all of fictional media. That's a joke, obviously, but it's undeniable that while it's really cool to have Oscar, it was an interesting choice. That could be a whole nother subtopic about how Gemmy doesn't even try to take risks anymore, but enough. Maybe I'll make a modern Gemmy rant at some point. Maybe I won't. I actually think I probably will. Honestly, if you guys ask for it, I will do it. So I'm going to stop talking about it now, and I'll save all my talking points for them. But anyway, so this item here, uses the standard, these two are the standard sleigh back and forth. Elmo has the moving arms, Cookie Monster just sways. If you want to think of it like this is Charlie Brown and this is Linus. Like on this one, Elmo is just Charlie Brown and Cookie Monster is just Linus. And then Oscar is actually a totally unique mechanism. It's like, his body is on like a rail that goes up and down like this. If that's how you want to imagine it. So, wow, I can't believe how long this is going already. I gotta make these a little quicker because there's still a lot more to go through. So, anyway, though. Yeah, so this one sings We Wish You a Merry Christmas and Jingle Bells. And then every single character sings, chimes in at different parts of the song, which is really cool, actually. It's kind of interesting to have like an item where it's like a dynamic, like a trio. Because most Gemmy items are usually solo. Some are duos, kind of like the snowman and the puppy. But this is like a trio where every single character gets a line in, which is really cool and, very different. So this kind of sleigh is actually a very interesting sleigh because this one is not on a base. This one is not like the other sleighs are on that white snow base. This is just flat. So it's really interesting how they actually got this one to work, like, without the snow base. 'Cause that's usually where all the electronics go. So the way they were able to condense it is very cool on this. One thing that is not very cool on this, though, however, is the quality of the plastic for Elmo and Cookie Monster. You've probably seen a bunch of these, but these always snap off. Hell, they're even snapped off on this one. Cookie Monster holds good enough, but you can see he's loose. He's not supposed to move like that. Same with Elmo. But they do still work the way they're supposed to. So I probably will buy like another sleigh that is working for parts and swap them out. But for the time being, it's perfectly fine. Everything moves and works like it's supposed to. So, and then I had to repair Oscar. I had to repair Elmo, but I kind of forgot what. Oscar was a split gear and a bad belt. But, yeah. So, I don't really have much else to say, and because of time, I am going to play both songs now.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a yucky Christmas and a lousy New Year. Good cookies we bring to you and your kids. Cookies for Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wish you a yucky Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you Merry Christmas
And a Happy New Year.
joy. Yeah!
Jingle bells.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, how rotten it is to ride in a one-horse broken sleigh. Yeah! A jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Yeah, fun.
So yeah, that was the item. As you see, it works very well still, which is cool. Oscar on these breaks a lot because there's no relay switches in him. So I don't know if you can hear that on camera or not, but in person you definitely can. His motor strains a lot because it has way too much power. So it's sending too much power, which in turn causes stress on the gear. So that's probably why most of these break. If they just added relay switches, it probably would have very few, if outright no issues at all. But yeah, it's a really cool item, honestly. It's great. It's, classic Gemmy at its finest. But, there are little quirks, of course. It's very hard to find a Gemmy item that's truly perfect. But, this item is very close to it, I gotta be honest. It's, it looks great, sounds great, and it's just a great item overall. I know I keep using that word a lot, but it's really, I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about any of these items. They're all very cool. Okay, well, one of them I do have some things to say about, but I still like it. You'll see which one I'm talking about. So yeah, we're going to move on to the next item now. Okay, so for the next item, we are going to talk about the Sesame Street Globe. Now, I am going to say in advance, I'm not doing a demo of this one. The reason why is because this item has like 11 different songs. And all of the songs are the exact same as the one on my other snow globe that I just did a demo of recently. So if you really want to hear the songs on this one, I'd say just go watch that instead. This is mostly a time issue. I do plan to upload all of these individually. However, I'm not going to upload this one. I mean, I'll turn it on to show you it's working. It's not that it's not working and that's why I don't want to upload it. It's because honestly, I absolutely hate filming those snow globe videos and the present ones I did of the Rudolph present and the Santa with the train. I absolutely hate filming those. I love the items. They're excellent items, but I absolutely hate filming those ones. The reason I film those ones is because there's never a video where you see all the songs. It's usually only like a minute or so of the item. So, you know, a lot of this channel, if I've never mentioned this before, is a lot of archiving. Like, I want this stuff to be archived, you know, in case, you know, whatever. Like, if somehow, like, videos of items, you know, like super obscure ones especially, were to be erased, you'd have my video in place of the other one that was erased. So that's a big reason I do this, but archiving those ones is absolutely ridiculous. Those presents and the globes. That's why I'm not doing the songs on this one, because I gotta be honest, my arm gets so tired after holding it like this for 11 minutes or so, however long they are. I swear some of them are like 12 or 13 minutes. Actually, for the one globe, I know I'm getting sidetracked. I'll get back on track in a second. For the one globe, I actually made like a makeshift phone stand, and that wasn't as bad. Honestly, I would do it then, you know, but when I did those present ones, I actually like was holding the camera the whole time, and my arm was so tired after those. Oh, my arm is tired after this, but at least with this, I'm able to like switch hands a lot more because, you know, I'm like grabbing things off to the side and whatnot. So filming these videos, it can be kind of hard, but it's worth it just to archive this stuff. So then let's get back to the actual item now. There's not really a lot to say about it. I mean, it's really cool because it's, you know, Sesame Street themed, and Sesame Street is badass, obviously, as we all know. But other than that, it's actually just a regular snow globe, just with 3 Sesame Street plushes and this giant, like, this, I'm not sure, it's like not a sticker, it's like on there better. I thought it was like a peel sticker, but it's not that kind. Other than that, though, it is completely a normal snow globe. There is nothing different. None of the songs are in any way related to Sesame Street. It doesn't even have, like, the characters' voices. It's a great item, obviously, because another elephant in the room being Mr. Big Bird, which is who I was talking about during the sleigh ride segment, but it's not really it is a Sesame Street item, but it's basically only a Sesame Street item in aesthetics alone. I mean, the actual item doesn't have any Elmo, Big Bird, or Cookie Monster voices, or any songs from the show even. So, I mean, I will do a quick demo just so you can see it turn on, but like, it's your regular snow globe. It's really cool. I love the Gemmy snow globes. They're one of their best items, honestly. But it's just a snow globe that just happens to be Sesame Street themed. So, yeah, I mean, it's a cool item. It's super, super rare, this one. I was lucky enough to get this one, actually, because when I did see this one, I bought it basically immediately because these are incredibly rare and literally never pop up. I can see why it's rare, though. It's very cool, and it's very, very different from the regular snow globe because a lot of them were like, well, they had some licensed ones, but not many licensed ones. And Sesame Street wasn't the most common license. I mean, it's really not common now, but even back then it really wasn't. So having something like this, you know, along with whatever retailer it was at, like if this wasn't at like a big box store, it's probably would explain why it was so rare. You know, if it wasn't like a Walmart or a Home Depot or a Lowe's item. But it's really cool, honestly. It's a super unique item. I will give it that. Because, like, it's unique in the fact that, one, the characters don't have fuzz on them. You know, Elmo and Cookie Monster. This is the only item I could think of that's Gemmy where they don't have fur or fuzz, and then Big Bird's in it, who, apart from a canceled prototype inflatable, Big Bird has never done by Gemmy, apart from this. This is the only item they ever did Big Bird on, which is kind of nuts to think about because Big Bird is a huge part of the actual show, but, you know, at least he got one item, so I'm happy for the guy. But, yeah. It's a really great item. I mean, if you really want, I would do if I had the phone stand or whatever, I probably would do a full demo of this one. But only because it's all the same songs as the other globe, I don't really feel like I have to. But if you guys want it, I want to do what you guys want to watch. So just let me know about that one. But anyway, we are going to go on to the next item. So for the next item, we are going to be discussing the Little Drummer Boy Elmo. So this is actually very similar to my other Elmo. This is not the original. Well, I mean, you guys never saw the original. I was supposed to upload it, but what happened is when I first got him, he actually worked really well when I first got him, my original one. But then his arms started jamming, so I went in to fix the arms. No biggie, he worked great. The mouth broke, of course. The mouth couldn't be broken when I went in it. It had to break after I went in it. So I went back in it again, and this item, unlike the other, like the bigger Elmo with the microphone, the one I talked about at the beginning, this one has absolutely no way to get in it besides cutting the fabric. So after the second time of doing it, the material and like the skin of the item were so mangled and so unusably awful. And then, the real issue I remembered, it wasn't just that. The actual mouthpiece had snapped on me. Like, the inside, it had totally snapped. I tried to make I guess, like, the string went bad or something. I don't even remember. It was, a lot. A lot was wrong with it. I just decided it wasn't even worth trying to make it work. So I got this one for cheap, along with another sleigh. The one I showed with the Oscar was, like, a lot. And that was totally, like, beyond repair, the sleigh. But this little guy, he actually... Nothing moved on him originally, but so what happened is the arms were locked, then the mouth, both were locked, then the mouthpiece broke. Like, literally, but thank God, though, it happened, like, right after the mouth was free. Like, immediately after the mouth started moving, it broke then. Which I'm not going to complain about, because it could have broke, like, 2 months after I had gotten it. So I went in, fixed the mouth, and this time, whatever I did actually worked. I don't know what the hell I tried to do the first time, because it failed miserably. But this one, it works great. So this item has, I think, 3 songs and multiple phrases. It has a lot. But, said that I was going to complain about one. This is the one I'm talking about, because this one is the absolute worst to work on. Like I said, there's no way to get inside the back, and every single piece of plastic in this thing is so brittle. I mean, this is honestly one of Gemmy's most brittle items. The things for the feet, I think, are broken. There's giant drywall screws going up to his legs so he could actually stand on the base, which did actually end up working out really well. Hell, it probably works better than what Gemmy originally did. But, let me see if you can see on the back. Actually, I did a pretty good job making it, but, I mean, it's all glued. You can see right there a piece I missed, but his entire back skin is glued. I actually made it look pretty good, honestly. I gotta give myself credit there. So, yeah, not much else to say apart from, this one is very not fun to work on. So, if you find one, try to get it fully working, unless you really think you're confident in doing it, which, I mean, I'm not saying, screw your confidence. If you think you could do it, go for it. But just know that this is one of the harder items to work on. And that's coming from someone who's worked on, at this point, probably hundreds of Gemmy items at this point. I mean, all this crap around the room and everything. I've worked on a lot of these. Not the newer stuff for the most part. But, the older stuff, I have done a lot of work on this older stuff. And this one definitely takes the cake as one that I really don't ever want to open up ever again. But yeah, let's get to the demo now of him.
Happy holidays from Elmo. Up on a housetop, reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for everyone's Christmas joy. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, clip, 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 down through the chimney with good Saint Nick. Ho, ho, ho.
One side thing to note, every single phrase and song on this item is the same as the stocking. So when I do get to the stocking, I'm probably not gonna, I'll probably just do like one song. I'm probably not gonna go through everything on it because it's exactly the same as this one. So yeah, that's just something I want to note. Mental note for myself and reminder, you know, little like a notice in advance for you guys.
Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho! Just the heart was well that happy. La 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 la, la 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 la. Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la, la 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 la. Join with our gay apparel. La 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 la. Show the ancient Yuletide carol. La 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 la. Elmo loves Christmas! Whee! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
So that was all of the songs. I'm gonna skip through because I think there's extra phrases mixed in there.
Elmo wonders what Santa will bring. Elmo wishes you a happy holiday. Elmo wants to sing a holiday song just for you. Happy holidays from Elmo. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, so that is all of the songs and the phrases, and as you can see, it's a really cute item. I mean, I did complain about it being a, you know, kind of a pain to work on, but it is a really great item, honestly. So, oh, I forgot another thing to mention. If you do get one of these, you're probably gonna have to replace the arm pieces. It's just the standard hamster arm, but instead of using the standard white plastic, which is much more durable, they used this sort of green plastic for the arm, which is very brittle and fragile. I replaced both arms on this one with the white hamster arms. I don't even remember if they were broken or not, but on my original Elmo, they did break. On my original Drummer Boy Elmo, they broke. So I decided to just save myself the trip of going inside this one again. But yeah, apart from, you know, the little instrument, it's a really cool item, honestly. And it's very different because, you know, it's a lot smaller than the other ones, and it also has a lot of phrases, you know, but it's still really cool, honestly. It's also interesting for Gemmy to even make a Drummer Boy because I don't even know if they've ever had one. I think they did like at Target a few years ago, but like, you know, during the classic era, I don't ever recall a Drummer Boy. There might be one that I'm forgetting, but, you know, not to my knowledge at least. So it's very cool, honestly. So yeah, we're going to move on to the next item now. But this one is very cool, despite the little problems. So that was everything from the original batch. But that was actually what it was going to end on back when I said I was going to make that video. So now, this is everything else that I've gotten in the meantime. So we're actually going to talk about the stocking now, ironically enough, because same phrases as the last one. But this is the one that I got, you know, after that one. So I'm actually going to stand up for this one because Elmo, for some reason, is choosing to look up and not down at the camera. So anyway, for this one, I had to replace the battery pack and I had to put in a new button. The wiring came out for the button, and I'm not sure what was wrong with the battery pack. It's like your standard battery pack, which thank God it was, and it wasn't something worse. I thought it had a board issue, but I figured out it wasn't because every single time you would press the button, it would make a sound for a second, but that's all it would do. So at least I knew it was getting power and things in here wanted to work. And then I swapped out I wired on a new battery pack and he worked perfectly fine. So I don't know what was wrong with the original battery pack, but who cares? It works. I had to do no repairs to the actual inside of the head, which I don't even know how I'm going to do because unlike the drummer Elmo, ironically enough, there's no way to get in this thing besides cutting open the skin. Like, there's a hole inside here where you could see everything, but this hole is way too tiny to actually work on it. There are screws on the side of the head, but you have to cut the skin to get to those screws. So, I really hope this one works for a while, because I am not looking forward to opening this one up. So, as previously mentioned, it uses all of the same songs and phrases as the drummer Elmo, but I will play one song for you on it, just so you could see it, because this one is very high-pitched. I'm going to actually play Jingle Bells, because you could tell the most on that one.
Elmo wonders what Santa will bring. Elmo wants to sing a holiday song just for you.
I did just like think about it now. This one does have very violent mouth movement, which is probably why they break a lot, but, you know, just something to note. Anyway, here we go.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
Yeah, so there he is. I mean, he's really cool, and I absolutely adore the pitch on this one. This one has an absolutely phenomenal pitch, and yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. Just uses blue snowflakes. Very cool snowflakes. Very old school Gemmy, like in terms of their art design, but nothing on the actual stocking is Sesame Street besides Elmo's head. Everything else is your standard Gemmy stocking material. It's a nice material. It's very heavy and durable, but still, it's not really a Sesame Street stocking, but it's still cool regardless. So now, these two are the most recent, and these I only got like 2 weeks ago, I think, at this point. So first up, we have the Elmo and Cookie Monster sleigh scene, which, despite, you know, thinking that it's going to be similar to the other sleigh scene, this one is I mean, the songs are the same, it just has the Oscar parts cut out, but, like, aesthetically, this one is totally different. So, instead of the fur on this one is actually, I'm going to bring the other one over as a reference, just so you can see it really quick. This one is, like, very, very fuzzy. This one's like a very light fuzz. It's a much more light, you could see it, like, on Cookie Monster especially. So then, the other big difference is this one uses, like, a sleigh. This one's more like, I'd say this is like a sled, even though it's called sleigh ride. This is like a sled. This one's outright a sleigh, like a Santa Claus reindeer sleigh, as opposed to like a, you know, like going to the ski resort kind of sled thing. And this one has the snow base. It's like actual plastic under here holding this. So, and then instead of the characters swaying back and forth, their heads turn. Well, Elmo's arms move too, but Cookie Monster's arms are they're just like static. They're supposed to be, though. But everything else is pretty much the same, you know, apart from the aesthetic choices. Like, the songs are exactly the same. Again, it's just the Oscar parts cut out. So yeah, not much else to say. This one's really cool, and this one works absolutely flawlessly. I swear this was sitting on someone's shelf for years, because honestly, I did not repair this one in any way, shape, or form. All I did was put batteries into it, and everything moves so fast and fluid on it, and it's perfect. You'll see it in the animation, in the demo, I mean. You'll see the animation in the demo. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, here we go.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good cookies we bring to you and your kids. Cookies for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So now it is time for Jingle Bells.
Merry Cookie-Mas.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
We love Christmas songs.
Fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
Season's greetings.
So one thing I actually didn't even, like, I kind of forgot about it. They did change the audio slightly. I mean, the songs are exactly the same, but they gave Cookie Monster more to say and do, because on the other sleigh, he doesn't really say much. I mean, he basically just took over Oscar's role, because he talks a lot more on this than on the sled version, which is cool, obviously. I mean, if you're going to have him move, at least have him, you know, do something. Don't just have him sit there. But, Yeah, they did add new phrases for him to say, but like I said, the songs and everything else is exactly the same. So yeah, this one is very cool, and it's also really cool to have one in the box. I mean, I know I have the sleigh ride in the box, but, you know, these are very hard to find with the packaging, especially this one. This one is so hard to find in the packaging, so when you do, it's usually always cool to see. Even though they tried to, like, Sharpie it out, the original owner, you could clearly see the price. I mean, it was $24.99 somewhere. I'm not sure what store. Let's see if the back gives us any details. 2005 Gemmy. There is the prototype model on the back. It looks very different. Well, I say very different, but it looks different enough. But it's not like a totally different item. Yeah, I don't see anything where it was sold. So I'm going to guess like probably Lowe's or something. Maybe Home Depot. I don't think this was a Walmart one. I don't remember seeing this one in any of the Walmart videos from that year. So... But anyway, yeah, this one is really cool, and it's so awesome to have one working in such great condition. So yeah, we are moving on to the final item now, which, thank God, because this video is so long, and I feel bad that this video is so long. But anyway, here we have the Cookie Monster with the guitar. Funnily enough, we started out with one that's on a bass and, you know, has an instrument. Well, a mic for something, an instrument. But, you know, is on a similar kind of, what I'm trying to say is we started out with one, and then the one we're ending with is literally the reskin version of it, which is funny, you know, how it looped back around again. So anyway, this one sings Blue Christmas and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Then it plays the guitar, same as Elmo, not really much to say. Thankfully, I had to do nothing on this one. The mouth even works somehow still. So yeah, that's... Very cool item, of course. Great item. You know, it's awesome to have a full-size Cookie Monster in the same vein as the Elmo. One interesting thing, well, I showed it in the community post. I was going to grab the Elmo to show you, but it's actually interesting. Despite how much smaller Cookie Monster's head is, they're actually the same height, the Elmo and the Cookie Monster. The way Gemmy did it is very clever, is they gave Cookie Monster a much larger neck. So that way, they actually are similar in height and don't look too... like height different when sitting next to each other, because in the actual show, the Cookie Monster is way bigger than Elmo. I mean, you could probably fit like multiple Elmos inside of Cookie Monster in the actual the TV show. So it was cool how Gemmy made them the same size, but it still looks normal that it looks like that. So yeah, I'm gonna do the demo of it, and then after that, the video will end because I don't really have any further thoughts to share apart from the fact that I do really like this collection and I'm really happy to own all of it, you know, besides the stocking, obviously. I have to keep saying that because I don't want it to seem like I'm saying it's complete when it's not. But anyway, it's a really awesome collection and they're very cool items. Sesame Street is a show I do remember watching a lot of as a kid and having a ton of different Elmo toys and all sorts of Sesame Street merchandise. So... to be able to bring it along with me, you know, the older I get, but still in like a way that is relevant to what I'm into nowadays is cool, because even though I collect a lot of like the Christmas stuff, like I don't really collect like toys anymore. These are more decoration toys, which I know I'm just being technical at this point, but you know, it's really cool to be able to carry apart like something that meant a lot to me when I was young and be able to like bring it into what I'm doing now. So yeah, anyway, once Cookie Monster done with the songs, the video will end. I think I may have mentioned at some point, I do plan on doing... Yeah, I mentioned it during the Snow Globe. I was going to say how I do plan on giving every single one of these items their own individual demo. Probably not all at the same time, just because I don't want to flood the channel with, you know, non-stop Sesame Street content. But yeah, I will do each item individually at some point. So yeah, here we go.
Have a blue
so yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. I just want you to know that I've said it, a million times, but I'll honestly never stop saying, because I really do appreciate all of you. I mean, truly, at the end of the day, you are the ones who make all of this possible. Like, without you guys, this channel would be nothing. It would be absolutely nothing. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your viewership, and I appreciate you all being very kind and, caring people, honestly. So thank you all so much for watching. I am very sorry about the delay for the past 2 weeks. I've just had a lot with school going on. Clowning Around will be coming out very soon. I just need the house empty because he's very loud and I don't want to be rude to my parents. But yeah, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.